Indigo was a product that used to be rampantly used during the Mughal period. And once the French and the British came here, they realized that this part of Bengal produced very good quality indigo, because obviously of the fertility of the land that happens to be here because of the Ganges. What they did was they planted indigo, and very soon many Britishers and French people realized that trade could actually develop into a megabuck strata. This particular property was built by a Frenchman, and with the influx, I would say, of the British into this part of India, the French were cornered into a small place called Chandanagar, which is about halfway from here, and the British then took over these entire cultivable lands and started growing indigo, processing indigo and exporting it to England and Europe. Indigo basically required very large volumes of water, basically to rot the plant and then wash the entire area. So all indigo cultivations or factories were next to the river as a rule, because those days you didn't get bore wells, and the natural source of water would be, rivers in the Gangetic delta. Indigo was also grown in the Americas, and one of the first popular uses of indigo was the dye that they extracted from this plant to make the blue jeans. But in the Americas, I think the importance was given more to sugarcane and coffee. So the indigo plant actually faded away from there and lived on in this part of India for well over 100 years. This is when almost 50,000 pounds worth of indigo was exported to England, and most of it was grown in this area, and it took till the middle of 19th century for the peasants to realize they were being forced into only cultivating indigo. They went into a famine condition. Not only that, the people who processed indigo, their feet, half their bodies would be soaked in indigo vats. That wasn't a very healthy condition to be in. Added to that, there was this tremendous scarcity of food grain. This, coupled with the health hazards, actually created this revolution, I would say about 1860s. And it took a few years for the Calcutta High Court to sort of realize that this is not really the right thing to do, and gave a ruling that in 1868 approximately, that you cannot force cultivate indigo anymore. The Britishers then, who grew this plant, realized that their income was dwindling, and slowly started moving back to England. People continued to grow indigo, like my grandfather. He bought this when one of the Britishers actually left India in 1875 after selling this property, and he came back to India and settled in Mahesh Ganj at Bala Khana and started his life, and thereafter continued to grow indigo, but not as a forced cultivation, which obviously died completely after the buyer invented this chemical dye.